You're listening to
Tipsy Book Reads.
I'm Rebecca.
And I'm Jess.
And we're tipsy. Too many books on my TBR. Too many books on my TBR. Yeah. This podcast is like a book club for the antisocial. We make a drink inspired by the book we read and talk crap about life and fictional characters. We really hope you listen and drink along.
Side effects of listening to this podcast may include reading vivaciously, extreme bouts of laughter, tipsiness from craft cocktails, talking shit about life and fictional characters. Listen at your own risk.
Hi, friend.
Hey.
I had something, a funny, cold open and I forgot.
Aw, dang.
It was really funny, though.
It's a bummer.
It was. I just thought of it when I was pressing the buttons.
She gone.
She gone. You know what else is gone?
What?
I didn't wear my 13 shirt.
Aw.
I know.
Dang.
Rip. I wore the wrong world.
Bummer.
Same Sarah J. Maas, but different universe.
I'm wearing goosebumps.
You're not even wearing... Well, never mind. That is a bookish shirt. Oh my goodness, what are we reading?
We're reading Kingdom of Ash.
Kingdom of Ass.
Alexa, play Kingdom of Ass.
I mean, Dorian's ass, Manon's ass,
True.
Kale's ass. Is it? Nope, no, I'm not going to finish that. I almost said, is it a chair?
Yep.
I said an inappropriate joke.
Anyways.
We're alive, but not everyone in this book is alive. So what you drinking?
We'll call it Going Out with a Bang.
Sponsored by Listerine. We have too many inside jokes this episode already.
It's a peppermint mule. So make a mule and just add a little splash of peppermint schnapps.
Not an ounce and a half.
I may have added too much the first go around and it was giving mouthwash.
Hey, our breath is minty clean now. Just saying. But we did need a little bit of ginger and peppermint in our bellies after this.
Mm-hmm.
Especially after the 13th. 13th? That's my 13th reason.
True.
Okay. We're reading chapter 60 through the end. And oh my gosh. What a closer.
It's absolutely wild. So much happens in these chapters.
So much happens. And I read a synopsis from someone, and I won't say who because I disagree with them and I don't want to
put those vibes
out or be nasty to anyone. However, you're wrong. This person was complaining that the battle ended
dull
in 3 pages. I'm sorry. There were 4 battles going on in this book.
Yeah.
There were multiple things. This is a war, and there are multiple battles in a war, and that was just the ending one.
Yeah.
And do I think Irene taking out what's-his-face in one go when she took forever to heal Kale was a little wild? However, I do think she used that to learn.
Yeah, I was going to say
how
she's
to do
come
it.
a long way
Yeah.
from that because she healed the one sister that was pregnant.
Yeah, she's been doing it 10 in a row.
Yeah.
So anyways.
She's got it down at this point.
She's got it down, and I just disagreed with that.
Yeah, I feel that.
Mm-hmm. I love a series, and it's over. Okay, where should we start?
I don't know.
Okay, how about we start with Dorian and Morath?
Oh my gosh, I had forgotten.
Shapeshifter?
Yeah, he is wild. How freaking cool. This is how you talked about last time about his raw magic being so freaking powerful, so much more powerful than everyone's. And first of all, that he even got the idea to figure out how to shapeshift. That was really cool. And he started by changing his eyes and just gradually got to the point where he can just whatever he wants. And when he's in Morath, he's a field mouse, and then he's He's literally all the different things.
Well, and you know what's crazy is he was strengthening that power so quickly because he went from like struggling to change his eyes to flying in a bird form for 2 days without stopping.
Mm-hmm. And then
2 days.
instantly changing, and then just from that point, like boom, 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 into different things constantly. Where when you look at Lysandra, who is also extremely powerful, but it talks about the exertion of her power and how if she uses too much of that power, it's hard for her to shift back. So that also puts into perspective Dorian's power of he seems to so easily shift between things without it really cutting too far into his power.
So true.
So it's a very deep well that he has.
Is. I do wish we understood his magic a little bit more.
Yeah.
I will say, with the ending of all of this time around, I don't want there to be any more.
Yeah.
Because I used to think, oh, there could be so much more. But I'm like, unless the next thing is them getting Aylin's power back,
Yeah.
I don't want it.
Yeah, it's pretty final.
Yeah. So while Dorian is in Morath, he allies, quote unquote, with Maeve. And he's such a little charmer. He charmed Maeve.
He really is, because she is freaking ancient. And this, how old is he at this point? Like 20?
Yeah, I was going to say 17, but you're right.
Charmed her socks off.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty crazy. And he found the rest of the keys.
He did. Dang, that whole situation, though. And that was so, I'm kind of confused, though. It was a girl that looked like, what's her face?
Yeah, Kaltain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it just a girl that he found that looks like Kaltain?
I think so.
Because at some point it also made it seem like the ghost of Kaltain.
It couldn't have been the ghost, but they did look like Kaltain, and that whole scene was absolutely heartbreaking, though.
Yeah.
But like, how did they find someone that looked like Kaltain that could handle having the word key in them?
Yeah. I don't know. I was a little confused by that, but intense. And she was like, please end this for me. And Dorian was like, okay.
So he had the moment that Aylin had, trying to make the decision on whether or not to end someone's life.
Yeah.
And I just ending it. Like, you just have
at that
to.
point.
She was begging.
At that point, there was no life left for her. It was just eating her from the inside out, basically. So traumatizing.
It's awful. Okay. I hate when I'm writing things down and I just genuinely, it changes it. I need to turn off the French freaking. Aylin I think it says it realizes her big blow to say lead and Lorcan. What the fuck does that mean? It's usually because I'm listening to the car, listening to it in the car, and then I will like talk text it while it's still trying to catch up, and then I'll try and fix it while I'm stopped, and it's like on the.
Doesn't make sense.
Anyways, so that makes sense, right?
Yeah,
totally. Aylin realizes her big blow to say elite and oh my god, I know what it is.
Oh yeah.
She saved her big power moment.
Oh.
Her big blow.
Yes.
To save.
Yes.
Lorcan and Elide and the whole army.
That was incredible because she had been digging into her power the whole time that Maeve had her captive in that iron box and everything. And when they all realized it, they were like, oh my God, that's a death blow. That was Maeve's death blow. And that was wild. She like put her fire up against the tsunami that was coming from the dam breaking or whatever. And it was like fire against water. And she like arched it over and evaporated it.
Which, how do I think about that?
Well, I was thinking maybe it was so hot that the water evaporated.
Interesting. Yeah, I like that.
Because I don't know how she was like fire, like how would that?
Fire.
I don't know. How was that going to stop it?
Earth.
Are we airbenders?
Air. These are the
Yeah. But then it was like her fire was dropping off and like boiling people to a crisp.
Oops. So Rowan came in with the wind. But they saved. And Lorcan was like dripping with his intestines.
Yeah.
That was nasty.
Yeah.
But they
but
lived.
Elide being like, I made a promise. Just Elide going to save him.
Poor
That
little
was really sweet.
Non-magic folk. Loved
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, but I don't know. I don't know how the whole fire versus water thing.
I don't know.
It's
Maybe I
kinda
need to
strange.
reread it for the 5th time.
Can someone explain? Can someone draw it for me?
Yes. These
I
are
need
the
an
moments that I
illustration.
need like a big old whiteboard
Yeah.
and like give me the breakdown. But so after that, somehow they end up on their jolly way and meet up with Kale and all them, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they see Endovier, and she had to like see that place for the last time. Thankfully, the last time.
Yeah.
That's
And
perfect.
Rowan was like, what do you want to do? You want to
Mhm.
burn it to the ground? Let's go.
I love Rowan.
I support you. Whatever you want to do, babe.
I got you. I can help you.
Yeah. But that whole scheme where she was scheming within schemes, as always. But at this point, she was kind of being annoying.
Yeah, like tell your husband.
Come on.
Like, if you can trust anyone, it's your Karen, your mate, and your husband.
Yeah.
That's a triple threat right there.
Dang.
But it's okay. We know she has trauma.
Yeah.
I thought the scene of Rowan tattooing her and their story
Mm-hmm.
and it being word marks.
Oh my gosh, that was incredible because it mentioned like, those didn't feel familiar or something like that when she was
So-
getting the tattoo.
Yeah.
And then it was to bring her home.
Oh, what a genius little. And he was scheming and scheming.
Mm-hmm. Giving her a run for her money. So that whole scene of Dory and her in the word gate or whatever.
it's so well done.
Oh my gosh.
It's
And
so
how
well
his
done.
dad comes to him and is like, I can give you this.
Yes.
And he's like, I have just enough power.
Yeah, and he takes his place and he
He
kicks
does.
him out.
Yeah,
And
that was
then
sweet.
Dorian has to live with that guilt forever, though.
Yeah.
I mean,
He was already dead.
but I mean, not splitting it with Aelin.
Yeah.
Oh well, he'll get over it.
Yep. And Aelin lost her power.
I fucking hate that
I
part.
hate it so much.
To this
It's so
day,
stupid.
I love everything about this book except for that.
I just think it's pointless.
It's so pointless, and that's why I say, if something else is made afterwards, it has to be they figured out a way to get her power
Yeah.
back. Because it's so wrong. I'm sick of it.
It is
I'm
so
sick of-
wrong. And at the end, it talks about what's the guy that tried to kick her out of Terrasen?
Yeah.
Whatever his name
yeah.
is. He was like his whole thing of having that much power, she should be like it should be checked. So it comes in back into play of like, oh, I lost my power, so you can let me in Terrasen now. That's bullshit that we're now coddling the guy because he's scared of your power.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like
I don't
how
get it.
that like I get how and why that ties in, but I don't like that we're catering to that type of person.
Agreed. Yeah, Sarah, fix it. Okay. That's all I'm going to say about that. But I love that she says, screw you to the gods. F
Says,
you.
You're all dead.
You're all dead. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Bye.
Bye. I am.
Humpty Dumpty. Bye.
Again with the inside jokes.
Dang.
Okay, so
Start a podcast with your best friend. What happens?
tell them again. Okay, so the crazy thing that's going on right now is the 13 literally dying.
literally exploding.
You were so annoying.
Yeah, they said
No, it's so
shine
sad.
bright like a
But the thing
diamond.
is like during that whole part, it was sad. It was awful.
Yeah.
But when I started sobbing was when Manon was on the field
Mm-hmm.
and Elide was like, "Who?" And she says, "All of them." And then I sobbed because Abraxas is like protecting her.
Oh, little Abraxos.
Oh my gosh.
And the whole scene prior to it as well, when Abraxos brings her back, and he is down for the count, and she's starting to put together what they're going to do, and she has no way of stopping them, and they're like holding her back, and she's like, "No, don't do this." But then when the flower bloomed and they brought it to her, and they were like, "We can come home." Not the 13, the other witches.
Yeah, the King's Flame.
Yeah.
The King's Flame. Really quick to back up, just really, really fast. I wanted keynotes on the scene of Nameless is My Prize. The mating bond breaking and he could feel it. Seal the Gate Firebringer. That moment was heartbreaking. And then... Oh, that's it. Just the two.
Yes, the mating
Yeah.
bond. Oh my gosh, when it started to fray and
Yeah.
Rowan was standing there feeling it breaking, and Aelin was standing there, but she wasn't inside her body. It was just, and there was nothing he could do in that moment, and that was, oh my gosh, horrible.
Yeah, awful. But yeah, so, I mean, they all end up together. The craziest, most beautiful moment I can picture in my head is Aelin on the deer.
The stag.
The stag, thank you. Aelin on the stag, and it's just this coming home moment of, like, he only picks certain people, and, like, picked her, and then she shows up to the battle, and her and the Cadre distract and kill Maeve, while Irene comes in and saves the day. And it's so beautifully wrapped up, and I just disagree
About her losing her power.
with her losing her power, and yeah, that's where...
R.I.P. Gabrielle.
Oh my god, I forgot he died.
That was so sad. Okay, no, the part about that killed me is when she went back to his dead body and offered him the blood oath. And the only reason she didn't offer it to him was because Adian hadn't had a chance to take it yet. And how they had previously talked about that he would have taken it. But at least when she went back, she was like, "Now you'll be buried amongst like our people, and they'll know that you died with honor," and all of that stuff. And it was, and Adian he didn't even get a chance to have a relationship with him. But the scene when Gabrielle basically chose to die to save them and Adian, and when Adian was just like absolutely about to burn the world to get to his dad, it was so sad.
That's so sad. And then Adian ends up with Lysandra, and that's sad.
Ay.
But Lorcan and Elide end up together, forever happy.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. I have mixed feelings because, of course, I get emotionally attached to the main characters and don't want them to die. But it's also kind of not very believable that only one of them died. You know, like they killed off extras and then only one of the main group
was a pretty big
Okay, yeah, I guess
deal.
I guess that counts
13
too.
of them
But
died in 2 sentences.
That's very true. But so going off of that they all of the ones that lived all ended up together and happily ever after. Also not very believable.
It's fair. To even out Aelin losing her power, Dorian should have died.
Yeah. Not that I want him to die.
No,
or Lysandra and Adian could have just not ended up together.
That or Adian could have died.
Yeah. I could have killed him.
Anywho, Sarah, if you want to chat about it, come on our podcast.
Yes, I need to know why these choices were choiced.
One more thing, King's Flame bloomed all over the place.
Yeah, how freaking cool.
Yeah. Okay, anything else?
Not really.
Okay.
Oh, when Aelin was coming back into the world and there was like a fae pregnant couple in another world.
In another world.
And he just like sent her on her way.
Yeah.
Give her a little push.
a little pushy
shove.
push. Wasn't that interesting?
Who dat?
Who dat? That's how I pictured it. But yeah, that's a great point. I mean, we could dive into this in detail, but nobody wants to listen to that for an hour.
That's fair. Also, I don't fully know. I don't know because I haven't read the rest of the universe, so I'm a little confused.
No, but you've read enough to know who that is.
Yeah, but the timeline, does it make sense?
I don't know if the timeline should make sense.
Okay. Anyways,
Time isn't linear.
that's very true.
What kept me up? White Lotus. That fucker.
Dang,
Sober.
I'm so far behind.
You are. You catch up.
I can't wait.
What kept me awake? What kept me awake?
Oh, yeah, kill it.
I don't. I don't know. What kept me awake? A lot. Wait, I just said the same thing, didn't I? So what kept me up and what kept me awake? What kept me
didn't even
home?
notice.
I'm in the middle of the busiest wedding season, and I have a lot to edit. I have so much to edit, more than I think I've ever had before.
Dang.
So, anyways, fun. I'm losing my mind. But I love it. Next.
What kept me up? I read a book. I finished that book. It's called Wish You Weren't Here. It ended up being really funny.
Oh,
I
good.
liked it. It was
Okay.
very cute. It was just lighthearted and funny. I was like, this is cutesy.
That is
It
cutesy.
was like a romance without being annoying, you know?
I love that. That's my favorite
And
kind.
Yeah. So that kept me up, listening to that. And then what kept me home? Still house projects. I feel like I've been saying that for years, but
Yeah, but it's amazing. You've done so much, and it's incredible.
coming along.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Cool. Okay, so let's check our story to see if anyone answered our poll yet.
Yes, we're trying to figure out what to read.
We left it up to you, which we regret doing in the past.
But we didn't just leave it an open forum this time, you know?
Oh, interesting. If we call it now, it's One Dark Window.
Very interesting.
But The Familiar by Lee Bardugo is very close behind.
Yeah, it is.
And if I had posted this an hour earlier,
Yeah,
have
we'll give
more.
it the full 24 hours and see.
We'll post
see
it on
what
our
happens.
story, and we'll probably post it in the comments below.
So you'll probably already know by the time you're watching this of what we're reading.
True. Okay, so we'll see you then in 2 weeks. Give us feedback. Do you like this?
Yeah.
Good to know.
Good job.
Where's the map? Okay. Stay tipsy.
Bye.